Lewis Hamilton's move to Ferrari has been talked about as one of the most significant transfers in motorsport history. But amidst all the excitement, a crucial aspect is becoming more noticeable: the rising rivalry with Charles Leclerc. Leclerc was always expected to be Ferrari's first world champion since 2007, after the team's struggles with Sebastian Vettel. Now, with a seven-time world champion joining him as a teammate, things are looking a little different. Hamilton's presence could change everything for Leclerc, especially considering the recent events with Carlos Sainz and Leclerc finally making his position clear. As we look ahead to 2025, one thing everyone is talking about is how this rivalry will play out. Right now, everything seems calm between the two, but once the season kicks off, things are likely to heat up. With the new regulations set to take effect in 2026, there's no escaping the fact that these two are about to enter some intense battles, with their true personalities and competitive spirits exposed more than we ever expected. For now, Leclerc is seen as the leader in Ferrari, mainly due to his years of experience with the team. However, when you consider Hamilton's determination and his quest for that eighth championship, it's clear that he's not just there to play second fiddle. Hamilton's decision to join Ferrari was made under unique circumstances, and the changes in Maranello, driven by Hamilton's input, might make Leclerc's position less secure than we thought. One of the most interesting aspects of Hamilton's move is that he didn't even get a chance to test Ferrari's car before making his decision. He signed on early in 2024 without knowing exactly what the car would feel like on track. This mirrors his move to Mercedes back in 2013, just before a new set of regulations were introduced. Back then, everyone expected McLaren to be the team to beat, but Hamilton and Mercedes proved them wrong. This time it seems he's hoping history will repeat itself at Ferrari, and there are reasons to believe it could. Changes were made to Ferrari's car after Hamilton visited the factory secretly, while still under contract with Mercedes at the end of 2024. One of the key adjustments was the position of the cockpit. Hamilton felt that the cockpit in the W5 was too far forward, and Ferrari responded by moving it back slightly. This change ensures that the drivers won't feel as though they're sitting right on top of the front tires, absorbing every bump and hit. Additionally, Ferrari has made a shift to a front pull rod suspension, following a similar approach to Red Bull and McLaren. With 99% of the car being completely new, Leclerc is going to have to adjust to all these changes, while Hamilton is already familiar with this kind of shift due to his experience with similar changes in the past. When discussing the changes for the 2025 season, Leclerc had this to say: "Whether the car will be competitive or not, we'll only find out in Bahrain." It's a bold statement because sometimes you don't realize the risks you're taking until you're deep into it. Ferrari's new car will be almost entirely different from its predecessor, with fewer than 1% of the components carried over from the 2024 model. While Leclerc remains optimistic, there's still a lot of uncertainty. But one thing is clear: this is a brand new project, and everyone, including Hamilton, will have to figure out how to make the most of it. While it's true that Hamilton will also have to adapt to Ferrari's new car, we can't overlook his extensive experience. He's been part of the grid since 2007 and has driven countless cars under various regulations. When he asks for specific changes to improve performance, it's not just a suggestion. It's backed by years of expertise. If Hamilton can adjust to the new Ferrari quickly, he won't struggle to compete from the very start. However, there's one area where Hamilton has consistently struggled: qualifying performance. In recent years, especially with Mercedes cars built from 2022 onwards, Hamilton hasn't been able to match the pace of some of his rivals over one lap. While this might not seem like a big deal, qualifying is crucial in 2025. With so many competitive teams starting at the front of the grid will be a massive advantage in maintaining position throughout the race. Let's be realistic. The 2025 grid will be packed with competitive drivers, and most teams will be looking to secure the best starting positions to gain an edge. While Hamilton's overall race pace is undoubtedly strong, his qualifying form, could be a disadvantage. If we look at his performance in 2024, it was clear that Mercedes cars weren't helping him get the results he needed during qualifying, especially with the experimental versions of the car he was driving. Despite his legendary status, Hamilton's one-lap pace wasn't as sharp as it used to be, and that showed when his teammate George Russell consistently outperformed him in qualifying, with a 19-5 advantage in their head-to-head. Ferrari, however, isn't too concerned about this. They've chalked up Hamilton's qualifying struggles to internal team dynamics at Mercedes and have opted not to dive deeper into that issue. On Ferrari's side, they're more focused on the bigger picture, the race itself. While Hamilton's qualifying struggles are still on the table, Ferrari is confident that once he's adjusted to the car, his performance on Sundays will be strong. They've learned from their mistakes in 2023 and 2024, and they're working hard on the race management side of things, which could give them the edge they need. Leclerc, on the other hand, is regarded as one of the best qualifiers on the grid. If Ferrari can fix their issues with race pace and tire management, it's going to make it even harder for Hamilton to catch up. Yes, Hamilton is a 7-time world champion, but going up against a driver like Leclerc, who has consistently delivered strong qualifying performances, presents a real challenge. Despite all the changes and adjustments, Ferrari still believes Hamilton will eventually find his rhythm with the team. When asked about Hamilton's performance, Leclerc's teammate, Ferrari's head engineer, said that they're confident Hamilton will return to form sooner rather than later. The team's focus is not just on qualifying, but on the bigger picture of race results. After all, it's on Sundays where the points are earned, not in qualifying. That's why they're willing to work with Hamilton and help him get up to speed with the new car. It's clear that Ferrari isn't worried about the short-term struggles. They're focusing on making the car work in the long run. However, there's still a significant pressure on both Leclerc and Hamilton. With McLaren fielding two highly competitive drivers and Verstappen always a threat no matter what car he's in, the competition is only going to get fiercer. There's also the challenge from two young rookies at Red Bull who will be eager to prove themselves. The reality is, even if Ferrari shows up with a strong car in 2025, it won't be enough to guarantee dominance. Hamilton may be a 7-time world champion, but he's facing the toughest grid he's seen in years. Leclerc, for his part, is already feeling the pressure. He's been the center of Ferrari's project for a long time, but with Hamilton's arrival, the dynamic is shifting. In Las Vegas, Leclerc made it clear that from now on, his focus is solely on his team. He's ready to fight for Ferrari, and if he can take on Hamilton in a fair battle, it could mark the beginning of his reign. At Ferrari, the internal competition at Ferrari is only going to get more intense as the season progresses. Leclerc is fully aware that Hamilton is one of the greatest threats he's ever faced. The question is, will he be able to hold his own against a 7-time world champion and keep his position as Ferrari's #1 driver? If Leclerc manages to beat Hamilton in a clean head-to-head fight, it could be the moment that defines his career and cements his future with the team. The stakes have never been higher for both drivers. In the end, it all boils down to performance. Ferrari's entire project has been built around Leclerc, but now with Hamilton in the mix, there's added pressure to deliver results. If the rivalry becomes messy, it could create tension within the team, and that's something Ferrari will want to avoid. They need both drivers to work together to push the car to its limits and secure the best results possible. But with the level of competition from McLaren, Red Bull, and others, it's going to be a tough battle. So, what do you think? Can Leclerc stand up to the challenge of racing against Hamilton? Will Ferrari's internal rivalry cause friction, or will the team rise above it and perform? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're interested in seeing more about Ferrari's new developments for 2025, be sure to check out the video on your screen right now.